So this video is taking much longer to come out than I had originally anticipated, but it's also taking course over many months and thousands of miles. So we got that going for us. Hi, my name is Adriana and this is my second Vlog Squad Challenge vlog. So in this vlog, I read 3 pics from 3 of my friends. The first person whose pics I read from is Allie from @KistyReads. The second pic is Natalie from Natcat's Bookish Cafe. And my third pic is Nessa's from It's Nessa. So without further ado, I will let pretty far past Adriana, take it away. Hello! So starting yesterday actually and going over the next 2 weeks, I am participating in a readathon, and one of the most strategic reads I can do for this readathon is actually the first 3 volumes of Olympus. Also, with that, this was the pick of Allie from KistyReads, and so I figured 2 birds, 1 stone, reading these for a readathon and also starting my second vlog of the Vlog Squad Challenge. So my husband's currently in the shower. We just got back from a camping weekend. So while he's in the shower, I'm going to start on volume 1. So technically I've already read these. I've read them on Webtoon. I'm not totally up to date, but I definitely think I've read covering the first 3 volumes. But I have these special Barnes & Noble editions that have like an extra chapter in them. They're also, you know, bound up in a hardcover book with all of the beautiful art style that Olympus is known for. So I'm very excited to go in and tackle these. I will check in after I finish the first volume. Hello, just finished volume 1 of Olympus. I still love this story in general. There are a couple problems with it, but I mean, for something that started out as just a comic on Webtoon, I think it's just really fun. And sometimes it's just fun to read something that's a little bit problematic. I assume most people have probably heard of this. It is a Persephone and Hades retelling, kind of set in this modern looking sort of city. So Olympus and the underworld kind of look like a modern large city. There are a lot of trigger warnings. As someone who's already read this, I'm aware of all the triggers within this series. But definitely check the trigger warnings before you read it, because even as someone who doesn't need trigger warnings, I still had a lot of big feelings about some stuff that happened in this book. It is what it is, but this was very fun. It was really fun to go back and look at it, and to get the extra bonus chapter, which is always a great time. I think now I'm going to take a shower and move on with my day. Good morning. Last night I finished volume 2 of Olympus. More of the same. It is surprising how quickly you get through like the plot beats when you're not having to wait a week for each episode. A lot of the stuff that happens I thought happened like a lot further apart. But when it's all like bound together into one thing, it's much faster. Even than like rereading it on my phone on Webtoon, for some reason like having everything just page flip to page flip, it feels much shorter. I still love it. I still love the art style. It was really interesting to get the bonus chapter in this one, because in volume 1, the bonus chapter was something that the author had already written at the time they were writing like everything else in this volume. This one was one they had like a story for or like a script for, but they actually drew it at publication of this, which was years later. And so seeing like the difference in art style between like their current iteration and what's, you know, listed or what's in like the volumes in here or the episodes in here it's really cool to see the progression of the art style in such a large time frame. That is volume 2. I will probably hit volume 3 tonight to get that done with, and also help out my team for my readathon. So that will be good, and then I will be done with this part of the Vlog Squad Challenge vlog squad, whatever. Pen Pineapple Apple Pen. But yeah, thank you, Allie, for getting me to actually read these big, beautiful bound editions of Lore Olympus that I paid really good money for. Hello, I just finished Lore Olympus Volume 3, and this is where it's getting like back into the, like, me remembering how much I enjoy this story. First 2 volumes were a little rocky, but this one, the relationship's really starting to develop. It's super cute, it's very sweet, and yeah, I am excited that I don't have to wait too long for Volume 4 to come out in this beautiful hardback, because it comes out tomorrow and is shipping from Barnes & Noble today, so that's good. I will probably include Volume 4 in this vlog just because I'm going to have it, and it makes sense for me to read it for this readathon. But yeah, that's all I have for now. Still very much enjoying the story. Hello, I just finished Volume 4 of Lore Olympus, and it's just making me remember why I fell in love with this series in the first place. And it's just been so fun to like explore this story through a slightly different medium. Being able to physically hold and turn the pages and see the artwork on big printed. It's just, I don't know, there's something different about the feel of an actual bind-up versus just looking at it on my phone. So again, thank you so much to Allie. It was so great to read this again. I don't know if I want to rate it or not. I don't think I'm going to rate it because it's just, because I don't have to. Because I can do whatever I want. But I did really, really enjoy it and really enjoyed my time with this. And cannot wait to get Volume 5, and I think the fall. So the next book I will be reading for the Vlog Squad challenge is Winter's Orbit. This was one of Natalie's from Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe. This is one of her picks that I decided I would read because I already owned this book and I hadn't read it yet. So it was just gonna do double duty for me. So my husband and I are currently out camping, and yeah, it's Friday, so I have plenty of time to get a good chunk of the way into this. But getting here, getting set up, it's kind of hot, and I'm kind of tired, so I might just take a nap. But I will check back in with you at some point when I get to a part of this book that I want to comment on. I am exhausted. Anyways, I think this is a sci-fi romance something. I'll check you later. Good boy. Good morning. I am to the 3rd mark of Winter's Orbit, and I can see why people really love this as far in as I am. It is definitely much more of a romance so far than it is like a sci-fi sort of plot. So it is I don't even know if you could call it a marriage of convenience. It's just like a forced marriage between the imperial royalty of this one planet being married off to kind of a diplomatic figure of another planet within their empire to help with galactic politics relationship, and their marriage is being questioned by this kind of overarching, I mean, they call it the Resolution, but it's just kind of like an overarching, I guess, political organization that is outside of their own galactic empire and is like over the whole galaxy observable universe. I have no idea. Their marriage is being brought into question, so they're now having to deal with that. It seems like one half of this relationship. Janian, the diplomat guy from the other planet, the less powerful planet, might have been in not a great position in his last political marriage. Kind of showing some signs of maybe having been emotionally abused. I don't know. But there is also kind of an underlying plot that maybe this empire isn't ruling as ethically as they could be, which, you know, duh, it's an empire. I'm enjoying it so far. I think we are going to get a little bit more than just like a straight romance plot, but I'm enjoying the romance. It hasn't been like too romantic yet, but you can kind of see where it's going, their relationship building is what they're doing. So that's what we got. I also wanted to take this as a chance to talk about some of like the really fun, interesting world building elements. So on this main planet that rules the rest of the empire, they have like birds, but the birds are like extremely predatory and will attack like the humans on this planet, which honestly, it ends up being for kind of a comedic effect. Like, it's kind of scary, but most of the time it ends up just being like comedy. And I kind of hope it just sticks through the rest of the book and is never like important to the plot, because I just think that'd be really funny. But I mean, like, it's probably going to play into the plot at some point, but I just think it'd be really funny if it didn't. And then I guess like each planet seems to have its own kind of relationship with gender, which is really interesting and cool that like the empire is not just one kind of homogenous culture. Like each planet seems to have its own cultural practices. So far we've really only like honed in on the cultural practices of the main planet and then the planet that Janian, the half of our main couple, is from, but gender is signified by certain types of clothing you wear and like how you wear it. So on the main planet, it is determined by like what you accessorize with. Women wear like flint, so they'll wear like flint earrings or a necklace or a pendant or a brooch of some sort. Anything made of flint signifies that you identify as a woman. And then I think wood is for men. Again, earrings, pendants, buttons, I don't know. But anything wood signifies a man. And then non-binary folks will wear glass or like none of the above. And then on Janian's planet, it seems to be a little bit different. He had like mentioned offhand that like the way somebody tied their scarf signified they were a woman, so it seems to be a little, they haven't quite laid out the rules like they have for the main planet. It is kind of interesting to see that, you know, not only do these planets have a different relationship with gender than our planet, but each individual planet seems to have their own relationship and gender within it, which is just really cool world building. So yeah, I mean, so far, really good world building, really cool relationship building. Like I mentioned at the start, I can really see why people love this, and I'm excited to keep going and see more as to why people love this so much. Hello, I made it to the 2/3 mark of winter's orbit, and I figured it's probably also time to give you some context on all of the B-roll I have thrown in to this vlog. It is Saturday and my husband and I are out camping. We are camping near a town called Winthrop that's kind of like a little tourist trap town with a western-ish theme. So that is where I was today. We went down there and explored, and we just did some more kind of exploring around the area. Did go to a bookstore, which was great. I should go grab those books and do a little haul. So yes, got some new books. So I guess I'll start with the not books. Two of my friends just got married this last weekend in like a small little legal ceremony. So anyway, so I got them like a little card from this store to just send them a little congrats. We're going to their wedding later in, I guess, next year, but just wanted to send them a little something for a hooray, you're legally married, I guess. I also got myself a new pop socket for my e-reader. I've been really thinking about getting a new e-reader, so I'll either put this on the new e-reader or I will just take the little cover off and put it on my current e-reader. It's like a little mountain range thing. It's super duper cute. So, and then finally to the actual books. Hey, Trip, get out of there! I picked up a copy of When Women Were Dragons. I've seen a couple people talk about this. It sounds super duper intriguing. I think it's like kind of a historical fiction fantasy set in kind of like a 50s America, I think. And when women get angry, like really angry, they turn into dragons. And for some reason, like all at the same time, a lot of women become dragons, like in one large event, and so it's kind of like talking through that. I don't know, it's fierce, feminist, and funny, but I have been wanting to check this out for a while. I saw it displayed on one of the main bookcases in the bookstore that I was at, and so I was like, well, this is a sign that I should just go ahead and get it. And then the other book I saw that seemed interesting was The Last Ranger. It is a signed first edition copy. So it's about a forest ranger working with the National Park Service, and then kind of becomes like a mystery thriller, it seems. I don't know. I think it sounds interesting. I don't know. It was one of those things where it just caught my eye. The cover's really interesting. We'll see what I think of it when I eventually someday read it. So back to Winter's Orbit. Like I said, I made it through kind of the next third of the book, and there have definitely been like some very cute kind of romance moments. Oh my gosh, there's so many flies. But something that's like I've really been struggling with the whole time is Janin. I think I was calling him Janian in the last update, but that's just because I don't read words well. I think he was the one who was previously married to the other main guy's, Kiem's cousin, and I think that relationship damaged him in a lot of ways and kind of destroyed a lot of his self-confidence. And it just, I understand why the character is the way he is, but I still am kind of annoyed reading it because both the characters are so obviously into each other. And they both just keep thinking like, oh, like that's nothing, it's just not really a thing. Like, they're obviously into each other, and they like had a conversation about how they're both into each other, and they're still being like, oh, but they're not actually that into me, and I don't like that. But like there's so many like super cute like relationship building moments that are like pulling me through, but like the base trope of, oh, I really like them, but I don't think they like me is just annoying, and I don't like it. But the kind of other plot line besides romance happening in this book is getting very... Sorry about that. Trip made a new friend. The non-romance plot of the book is getting very interesting. Like, there's a lot of stuff, like, mystery, political intrigue happening that I'm excited to hopefully get the answer to. I hope we get at least this political intrigue mystery solved in this book, because I'm very intrigued and I want to know what is going on. and why it's happening like this. So it is like 6 o'clock. So we're kind of down for the night. We're just gonna hang out, eat some dinner. I'll try to get some more reading done, and it should be a good time. Good morning. Last night I finished Winter's Orbit. I totally get why people love this and are just like so obsessed with it. For me, I just could not get over how whiny the characters were. Just the utter lack of any sort of self-confidence and awareness of this other person. Like, I don't know if I'm just more in tune with like my own feelings and the feelings of people around me, but like it's pretty easy to tell when someone's into you or when you're into someone else, and it seems like they just have no awareness of that at all. And so it just gets a little frustrating to read, especially like I mentioned in the last section. Like, they had a conversation about how much they liked each other, and then they continued to like question whether or not the other person liked them. That is like my only qualm with the book, because the rest of it is fantastic. Like I said, I totally get why people are obsessed with this if they are less annoyed by insecure characters than I am. The rest of this book, so good. The world building, impeccable. The political intrigue, so easy to understand. I tend to like struggle with like political storylines, just keeping everything in mind of how all of this works. And this had like a huge political structure. Like, not only do you have an empire and a chain of planets, there's like an overarching galactic mega powers and how they interact with each other, and like all of it was explained so well and integrated into the story so well that like it's almost intuitive how it all fits together and how it all works and the consequences of certain actions. So I really have to give major props to the author for this. I did read the acknowledgements and saw that this actually started out as a, I guess maybe not this book specifically, but like kind of, I don't know, I'm like rambling, but the author had mentioned that the idea of this story started out as a fanfic on AO3, and I feel like maybe that's where kind of the characters kind of came from. They do feel like kind of that fanfic culture of like self-insert, you know, I'm a young woman trying to figure out my life kind of character, which makes sense when it's like, you know, a teenage girl writing a fanfic, but when it's an adult woman writing from an adult man's perspective, I feel like they would be a little bit more secure in their place in the world. But the world building, fantastic, which you don't normally see such intricate world building in a fanfic, because usually they're based on other worlds. So that is huge. I will definitely be picking up the next one. I am a little intrigued to see what the next one is about, because it seemed like this wrapped up really neatly in like a perfect little bow. So I don't really know what we're going to be tackling in the next one, but I am very excited to check it out, especially now that hopefully the characters will be a little more secure in themselves and their relationship. I also really liked the way the author did the, I guess, major conflict. The major conflict kind of culminates in a torture scene, but like it wasn't a physical torture, it was kind of like a mental torture using technology, and it felt really unique and really different than like a lot of other stuff I've read, but also allowed for, you know, a big climactic moment that wasn't necessarily pure action, which I thought was really interesting and cool. Yeah, I'm probably sitting at like a 4 with this book. I did really enjoy it, but I did find myself not always wanting to pick it up. I have a complicated relationship with this book, but I did enjoy it, so I will say that. So with that, I'm gonna add this to my red bookshelf, and big thank you to Nat for recommending this, and I will see you for the next book. Hello! So this will be the last book of this vlog for Not Squash That series. That's a different thing. This is Vlog Squad challenge. So for this last book, I will be reading The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. This was a favorite of a couple people, but I will specifically be reading this for Nessa from It's Nessa. I am really looking forward to reading this. I've been kind of slumpy lately, and I really need this to like save my reading life because I just have not been feeling it. But I finished the book I was reading last night and I was like, oh, I'm still kind of awake. I'll read the first chapter. Then I open up this bad boy and the first chapter is like over 10% of the entire book. And I was like, well, guess we're not starting this tonight or tomorrow morning because I definitely don't have time to sit and read a full 30-page chapter at either of those times. I don't even know if I'm going to be starting it tonight because my parents want to go out to dinner. I mean, I'll start it tonight. But like just trying to sit down and read a full 30 pages right off the bat, like that's a lot. The rest of the chapters better be short because I can't do long chapters. But other than that, I'm really looking forward to it. I know kind of the premise. It's like a dating show, bachelor type dating show, but the bachelor guy ends up falling in love with his producer instead of any of the contestants, and that causes, you know, the most dramatic season ever. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Love me some bachelor type drama. I have not watched the show in a couple years because the show just finally pissed me off enough that I was done. Looking forward to starting this. Hello, I made it to the third mark of The Charm Offensive. I am really enjoying it so far. I think the mental health representation is really, really great. I'm just really enjoying it. Like, I can definitely see why this is such a hyped up 5 stars across the board book. I am just loving it. I don't really know what else to say. Like, the TV show aspect is really fun. It's like The Bachelor, but with a fairy tale spin. So it's like all Prince Charming and like crowning ceremonies. It's really fun. And like even with heavy topics such as like, you know, like neurodiversity rep and like dealing with disability, like it's just so heartwarming, I think is the main thing, and I just really love it. And I can't wait for our 2 love interests to finally like get it together and like figure it out and fall in love and live happily ever after. I guess to explain my surroundings a little bit, I am currently in Seattle. My husband and I drove over here last night. This morning I'm flying out of the airport and I will be going to Shanghai. So I will probably be finishing this book on the plane because it's like a 13-hour flight. So I will give a final update for this book once I am settled in my hotel room in Shanghai. But yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a little nervous about this whole thing. It's going to be really fun, but just, I guess, anxious about traveling and everything. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to finishing this book. My dog is a little crazy right now, a little cray-cray. But I will check back in with you guys in China. To Shanghai. I am in my hotel and feeling disgusting. That is not a great flight. I do like that it was direct and I didn't have to mess with like transfers, but like all the rest of it, sitting on a plane in the same position for 13 hours, it's not ideal. But like I thought, I did finish The Charm Offensive. I really, really liked it. I thought it was super duper cute. It just feels so wholesome, which always feels like so weird to say because like it is a spicy romance, but it just feels wholesome in like the characters like finding themselves and growing and learning and caring, and I just love it. It's 4:15 currently. I know this hotel has a gym, but trying to track down the gym right now seems really terrifying. I don't know. I probably should go to the gym just to try to get my schedule somewhat in place, because honestly, like 4 p.m. is about the time I'd be going to the gym at home, which might help me actually fall asleep at the correct time and get adjusted to this time zone a little bit better. But yeah, back to Charm Offensive. My brain is boggled. But I really, really enjoyed it. It was the perfect book to bring on a plane, just super fun and speedy, and I loved the premise, I loved the show, I loved how everything resolved. The third act breakup, like, made sense. And yeah, 5 stars. So, I mean, everybody who had this in the vlog squad as one of their 5 stars, like, you know what's up. Like I said, I specifically read this for Nessa's pick. So thank you to Nessa for giving me the kick in the pants to read this book. I very much enjoyed it. And yeah, I think that's it for this vlog. I will have more China clips in other vlogs, but this is the end of this vlog. So let me know if you have read any of these books or if you're reading any of your friends' faves this year. And thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.